morning and a very warm welcome. You're watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant. The top stories first. Panchami being observed across the country today, devotees visit temples to seek blessing from the goddess of knowledge. Prime Minister Oli says the government has been successful in its 3 years in power, claims all indices point to positive changes. Former Chief Justices defend their statement, claim that anyone can interpret the Constitution. WHO approves AstraZeneca for emergency use, the new vaccine to cost less than the ones currently in use. And Werner shines as Chelsea beat Newcastle. Victory takes Chelsea back to 4th in the Premier League. Hindus across the country are busy visiting temples of goddess Saraswati since early morning today to mark Sri Panchami Festival. This day is believed to be the birthday of Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. Especially students today pray for wisdom with the goddess, while educational institutes mark this day by organizing various programs. Sri Panchami, which falls on the 5th day of the waxing moon towards the end of winter according to the lunar calendar, is also the beginning of the spring season. This day is also known as Basanta Panchami, which means spring festival. Goddess Saraswati is believed to bestow knowledge of music, arts, speech, among others, to the devotees. It is believed that the goddess also resides in books, pens and musical instruments. Therefore, devotees also offer prayers to books and musical instruments on this day. Small children are taught to write on this very day. The government, under the leadership of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, has completed 3 full years, with the ruling faction claiming it has been a successful 3 years. The ruling NCP, under the leadership of the Prime Minister, has claimed that according to the Infrastructural Development and Human Development Index, the government has done a lot better than what was expected. Announcing the progress of the 3-year tenure of the government, Prime Minister Oli claimed he still has the grit and determination to continue building on this progress. He informed that in the meantime, 89 new laws have been enacted, hundreds of unresolved laws have been amended, and necessary laws and procedures have been formulated for central and state-level financial management. The Prime Minister also claimed that the per capita income has also increased from $887 to $1,097, even when the world is battling against the financial impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Prime Minister also claimed that he was able to achieve the target of 7% economic growth in his first 2 years, with all 7 provinces still registering over 6% economic growth over the 3 years. The Prime Minister also said that Nepal has made a great progress in the area of foreign investment, expansion of industries, internet, telephone, airport construction and expansion, education, health and drinking water. 4 former Chief Justices defended their joint statement criticizing the government's move to dissolve the House of Representatives, saying anyone can make public comments about constitutional provisions. The former Chief Justices said their statement cannot be considered as contempt of court because the Constitution is a public document and they just pointed out the provisions written in it. They said that anyone can discuss about the Constitution in a democratic country. They made such statement at the Supreme Court yesterday after they were charged of contempt of court for the remarks made earlier. The 4 Chief Justices also submitted written statements to the court. Former Chief Justice Kalyan Shrestha said that their statement did not in any way interfere in the Supreme Court's right to decide on the writ petition filed against the government's move to dissolve the lower house. Another ex-Chief Justice, Meen Bahadur Rai Maji, said they only shed light on the constitutional provision. Similarly, former Chief Justice Sushila Karki said that there was no need to sensitize the statement made by them. She clarified that some precedents have been presented to the court in their defense. Another former Supreme Court Chief Justice Anup Raj Sharma said they faced contempt of court because due to the malintentions of some people. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 122 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 272,840, while the number of active cases has dropped to 1,581. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 269,204 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 2,055, with the confirmation of one more casualty yesterday. Nepal is currently among the top 45 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 28.31 million confirmed cases, followed by India with 10.92 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 109.66 million people across the world and claimed 2.41 million lives. And now the news from the economic front. The stock market index NIPSE set a new record on Monday. NIPSE has increased by 92.4 points and set a new record at 2,586 points. Earlier, NIPSE had set a new record at 2,561 points on Monday. The total transaction amount on Monday has also come close to breaking the record. The market turnover was Rs 10.38 billion. Earlier, the transaction amount had set a new record with a turnover of Rs 10.61 billion on March 10th last year. A total of 22.44 million units of shares of 205 companies have been traded in the market. The indices of all groups traded on Monday have improved. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. The World Health Organization yesterday listed AstraZeneca and Oxford University's COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use. According to Reuters, this has widened access to the relatively inexpensive shot in the developing world. A WHO statement said it had approved the vaccine produced by AstraZeneca in South Korea and the Serum Institute of India. In the first half of 2021, it is hoped that more than 300 million doses of the vaccine will be made available to 145 countries through COVAX, pending supply and operational challenges, the British drug maker said in a separate statement announcing the approval. The WHO panel had earlier recommended 2 doses of the vaccine with an interval of around 8 to 12 weeks for all adults. WHO had also said this vaccine can be used in countries with a South African variant of the coronavirus. The WHO's review found that AstraZeneca vaccine met the must-have criteria for safety and its efficacy benefits outweighed its risk, Reuters reported. The AstraZeneca Oxford shot has been hailed because it is cheaper and easier to distribute than some rivals, including Pfizer-BioNTech, which was listed for emergency use by WHO late in December. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Timo Werner scored a goal and made an assist to help Chelsea defeat Newcastle in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge yesterday. Werner's cross rebounded out to Olivier Giroud to net Chelsea's opener in the first half, reported BBC. Summer signing Werner then made it 2-0 8 minutes later, scrambling in a flick-on at the back post. The victory sees Chelsea move back to 4th place ahead of West Ham The Hammers, who comfortably beat Sheffield United earlier on Monday night, are level on points with the Blues, but both sides sit above defending champions Liverpool as competition for Champions League places heats up. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Sri Panchami being observed across the country, today devotees visit temples to seek blessing from the goddess of knowledge. Prime Minister Oli says the government has been successful in its 3 years in power, claims all indices point to positive changes. Former Chief Justices defend their statement, claim that anyone can interpret the Constitution. WHO approves AstraZeneca for emergency use, the new vaccine to cost less than the ones currently in use. And Werner shines as Chelsea beats Newcastle. Victory takes Chelsea back to 4th place in the Premier League. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.